Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast that we're bringing to you live from the Dwar of the Ram Janmabhoomi in Ayodhya. But we're cutting across live to visuals coming in from Tamil Nadu, from Dhanushkodi, where the Prime Minister is. Remember that the Prime Minister is on an 11-day Anushtan where he is visiting several temples, especially in the southern part of India. He started this 11-day Anushtan from Nashik, from the Panchvati Dham in Maharashtra. He's visited Andhra Pradesh. He's been to Kerala. He's in fact now in Tamil Nadu. 2 days of visiting temples in Tamil Nadu. Right now he is at the Shri Konthadarama Swami temple, which in fact means Ram with the bow. That is what the temple name means. It is located in Dhanushkodi, and it is said that this is where Vibhishan in fact first met Ram and asked him for refuge. So some legends also say that this is the place where Shri Ram conducted the coronation of Vibhishan. My colleague Shilpa Nair is now joining me over the phone line from Tamil Nadu. Shilpa, what more can you tell us about the Prime Minister's temple visit today in Tamil Nadu?
Well, follow me, we speak about the Prime Minister's schedule today. The first started with the Prime Minister's visit to a place called Adorned. Now, this is a place that has a lot of historical and cultural and geographical significance. In fact, it is believed that, it is from this point that Lord Ram started building the Ram Setu along with his army to cross over to Lanka to fight Ravan. So that, of course, is the biggest significance as far as, Lord Ram is concerned, as far as Ayodhya is concerned. So that is the reason why the Prime Minister, of course, chose to visit Adorned, and it is also a confluence point of the Bay of Bengal and the Gulf of Mannar of Indian Ocean. So that is another significance of this particular place. And it is also the last stretch of road marking the Indian territory as well. So it's a beautiful place surrounded by the sea, the beach. It's completely beautiful. And that's the reason why the Prime Minister, of course, chose to sit down there, do his breathing exercises as well, because it's a place that, it's a sight to behold. And for anyone who loves to do meditation, you can't ask for a better place. And the Prime Minister also offering his prayers at that particular point. And after that, he, of course, reached the Kodandarameswamy temple, which is also in Dhanushkodi. Now, again, this temple has a lot of significance because many believe that this is the place where Lord Ram met Vibhishana for the first time when Vibhishana sought refuge. And there are also some who believe that Vibhishana was coronated at this particular place. So the deity there at the Kodandarameswamy temple, it is a Lord Ram with a bow. So that, of course, is the significance of the temple that the Prime Minister is currently visiting. And in just a short while from now, he will be leaving from Rameshwaram. He'll be going to Madurai, from where he will take a flight to New Delhi, because tomorrow, of course, is the big Pran Pratishtha ceremony that will be taking place in Ayodhya. So ahead of that, the Prime Minister will be leaving to New Delhi by afternoon today. So that, of course, is the schedule as far as the Prime Minister's visit to Tamil Nadu is concerned. But ever since he landed, in Tamil Nadu, yes, of course, he came for his official duty to be a part of the inaugural ceremony of the Khelo India Games. But he has also taken the time out to visit some very significant temples, especially temples that have some kind of cultural or historical or mythological connection with Ayodhya, with Lord Ram, because it, of course, started with the Sri Rangam temple in Trichy, where the deity is a reclining form of Lord Vishnu. And it is believed that Lord Ram and his ancestors used to pray to this form of Lord Vishnu, and he had given this to Vibhishana to take it to Lanka, but it was installed in Sri Rangam in Trichy, and it is one of the biggest Vaishnava temples. It is one of the biggest functioning temples as well in South India, across the country. The Prime Minister, of course, when he visited the Sri Rangam temple, he was listening to chants of recitals of the Kamba Ramayana, which is Ramayana in Tamil. That again was so beautiful. Anyone who is just listening to those verses is beautiful. It filled one's heart with a lot of devotion and peace. Then, of course, he left from Trichy. He reached Rameshwaram yesterday around noon, and that is when he reached the Ramanatha Swami temple in Rameshwaram. And in the Ramanatha Swami temple, again, it is one of the Chardram pilgrimage sites for the Hindus in India, one of the biggest Hindu pilgrimage centers in the country. And the Prime Minister, of course, undertook all the important rituals, which is the which is part of the temple, because there is a ritual where any pilgrim who comes to the temple, they undergo 22 Teerthas, a bath in the 22 Teerthas or the holy water. The first Teertha is, of course, the Agni Teertham, and that is the Shri. So we saw Prime Minister taking a holy dip in the Bay of Bengal, after which he went inside the temple. There are 22 wells with holy water inside the temple. He took a bucket of that water. He bathed in that water, and then, of course, offered his prayers. He had a good darshan at the Rameswaram temple. And then, just to, explain to our viewers the significance of this ritual, it is considered an equivalent of penance. And the number 22 also signifies the number of arrows in Lord Rama's quiver. So that is, again, the significance of this entire ritual. It is considered a form of penance. And as far as the deity there is concerned, it is believed that Lord Ram and Goddess Sita prayed to Lord Shiva to wash away any sins that Lord Ram may have committed during the war in Lanka against Ravana. And it is believed that, he had also sent Lord Hanuman to the Himalayas to bring a lingam back to Rameshwaram. So 2 lingams are there inside the Rameshwaram temple. One, of course, is the Vishwalingam, which was brought by Lord Hanuman, and the other is a lingam which is in the Sanctum Sanctorum that was created by Goddess Sita. That is what, the experts say, the scholars say. And after which, of course, the Prime Minister took part in Ramayana Parayana. Rama Kathas were recited in several languages, in Gujarati, in Assamese, Bengali, etc. And there was also a bhajan sandhya that he took part in, where devotional songs were played, and the Prime Minister took part in all of this. And last night he stayed over at the Shri Ramakrishna Mutt. And this morning, of course, he's gone to Dhanushkodi to Aditya Munay Point, and now, of course, at Kodanja Ramaswamy Temple, where the Prime Minister is currently at. In just a short while now, from now, he'll be leaving from the temple, and he will be making his way to Madurai, where he'll catch a flight to New Delhi. So it's quite fascinating how the Prime Minister has chosen these very, very important temples. Yet, government sources have been telling us that the Prime Minister has been following a very rigorous lifestyle, a very rigorous ritual, and a very rigorous anushthan, ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. And that is the reason why, even though he's been visiting several states such as Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, for several of his official work, he's also taking the time out to ensure that he fully devotes himself to Lord Ram ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony in Ayodhya.
Prem, you have to indicate to me. Just 24 hours left for the much anticipated Ram Lalla's Pran Pratishtha here in Ayodhya. And as you can see, it's all decked up. It's all ready over here. We're standing at the entry gate of the Ram Janmabhoomi Sthan. And as you can see, the floral decorations are up. It says Pran Pratishtha Mahotsav में आए हुए सभी भक्तों का श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र ट्रस्ट स्वागत करता है. As you The hectic activity is all over here. Rituals are underway. It's the final day of the rituals that are taking place inside the temple. We saw some of those live images being webcast by the Teerth Kshetra as well, because they're telling us that the last day, and these rituals, there are morning rituals and there are evening rituals as well, which are taking place. So that is going to happen today. And of course, the idol will also be washed with certain medicinal herbs, is what we're being told. So the idol is being purified before the Pran Pratishtha, which is of course a process, a ceremony, which will then of course through Vigraha make the idol, the Ram Lalla idol, which has been sculpted by Karnataka's Arun Yogiraj, into a living deity. Tomorrow, in fact, at 10 a.m. in the morning, the air in Ayodhya will be reverberating with the sound of 50 different exquisite instruments from various states that are coming in over here. In fact, an Ayodhya resident, Yatendra Mishra, will be orchestrating that, and he will be supported by the Sangeet Natak Academy. So that orchestra is expected to go on from 10 a.m. in the morning till 12 in the afternoon, when of course the Pran Pratishtha ceremony begins. So 50 different instruments, the Mangal Dhwani that you will hear reverberating from this very premises behind me. Abhishek Mishra, my colleague, is also joining me live this morning. Abhishek, good morning to you. So it's the final day. Preparations underway, hectic preparations that are underway, floral decorations are up, and some of those images that we've seen coming in from inside of the Ram temple, all decked up, they look beautiful, Abhishek. Look at these visuals behind me. Look at these pictures behind me. These are all the floral decorations. Okay, so you can just imagine how decked up the temple looks at the moment. But the Prime Minister, of course, is in preparation for this big moment itself. Tomorrow he is in Tamil Nadu. He is in fact making his temple visits at the moment as we speak right now. He has been visiting several temples in the state of Tamil Nadu. He is at the Arichal Munai, which is where the Ram Setu starts, and then of course he will be visiting Dhanushkodi as well. Shilpa Nair, my colleague, is now joining me live on this. Shilpa, the Prime Minister has been observing some very rigorous rituals, the 11-day Anushtan that he announced through an audio message. But these temple visits are extremely crucial as well as far as this Anushtan is concerned, because he's found relevance with each of these temples that he's visiting, their relevance and their association with the epic tale of Ramayana. Shilpa?
Well, absolutely, yes, Paulami. In fact, through the Prime Minister's visit, once again, we are getting to know the sort of connections or the association each of these temple has in terms of, in terms of Lord Ram, in terms of Ayodhya, and also with Ramayana. So all of these, it could be mythological, it could be, there are several such connections, but the fact of the matter is several such interesting aspects are being once again brought to light with the Prime Minister's visit to these very significant temples, not just in Tamil Nadu but across the country. He's gone to temples in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala. All of these temples have a significance of its own. And as far as his Tamil Nadu visit is concerned, all of these temples, be it the Sri temple in Trichy, be it the Ramanatha Swami temple in Rameshwaram, be it the Kodandarama Swami that he is currently visiting, temple that he is currently visiting, all of these temples or all of these deities find a mention in Ramayana. There are, many who believe that these are all temples or places that are associated with Lord Ram. So that is the reason why the Prime Minister has chosen to visit these places, especially ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony in Ayodhya. And right now, he is at the Kodandarama Swami temple. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a temple where many believe Lord Ram met Vibhishana for the first time when he sought refuge. And some also believe that Vibhishana was coronated at this particular point. So that is the reason why the Prime Minister has gone there. And Kodandarama Swami means Lord Ram with a bow. So that, of course, is the deity in that particular temple. It's a very small temple, but yet a very, very beautiful temple situated in Dhanushkodi of Rameshwaram. And just a few minutes before that was when the Prime Minister visited the Arichal Munai point in Dhanushkodi, again a place with a lot of cultural, historical and geographical significance. Speaking about the place's connection with Lord Ram, many believe that it is the point from where Lord Ram decided to build the Ram Setu to cross over to Lanka to fight Ravan. So that is something that many believe in. And very interestingly, there are also stones, the stones in that particular area. If you take those stones, there are special stones, and if you put it in a bucket of water, it floats. So these stones float on water, and many believe that this was the Ram Setu. So that, of course, is the significance of Arichal Munai as well. It is also the confluence point of the Bay of Bengal and the Gulf of Mannar Indian Ocean. So a lot of significance, and that's the reason why the Prime Minister, of course, chose to sit down there for a few minutes and just do his meditation, just do his breathing exercises, because it's a beautiful place, a sight to behold actually. And then the Prime Minister, of course, is at the Kodandarama Swami temple offering his prayers, and after which he will be going to Madurai, where he'll take a flight to New Delhi, because tomorrow, of course, is a big day, a day that has been, it's being widely celebrated across the country by many. There's a lot of excitement about the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, and the Prime Minister, of course, will be taking part in the ceremony tomorrow. So ahead of that, the Prime Minister will be leaving from Tamil Nadu. He'll be taking a flight from Madurai to New Delhi. But just to sum up his visit to Tamil Nadu, he, of course, started with the Khelo India Games inaugural ceremony in Chennai. Yesterday, he went to the Sri temple in Trichy, where the deity is Ranganatha Swami, a reclining form of Lord Vishnu. And it is believed that Lord Ram and his ancestors used to pray to this, pray to this form of Lord Vishnu. And he had given it to Vibhishana to take it to Lanka, but it was installed in Sri and is one of the biggest temples, Vaishnava temples in the country. Thousands of devotees throng that temple on a daily basis, and it is also a temple where Tamil poet Kambar, when he wrote the Kamba Ramayanam inspired by the Valmiki Ramayanam, this was the place he first presented it to the scholars. He wanted the approval of the scholars as well, and he had won hearts when he recited Kamba Ramayanam. And the Prime Minister, of course, listened to verses from the Kamba Ramayanam, the Tamil Ramayanam, sitting at the Kamba Mandapa inside the Sri Ranganatha Swami temple, and that, of course, was again a beautiful moment, because the manner in which those those scholars recited the Kamba Ramayanam is quite soothing, and it filled one's heart with a lot of devotion. And after which he, of course, reached Rameshwaram around noon yesterday, and the Ramanatha Swami temple, like you know, it is part of the Char Dham pilgrimage. It is an important pilgrimage site for the Hindus across the country. And once he reached the Ramanatha Swami temple, he, of course, ensured that he undertakes the most important ritual of the temple, which is, of course, the Teerthas, the 22 Teerthas, taking bath in the 22 Teerthas. So the first was Agni Teertham, which is the sea. So the Prime Minister, of course, took a holy dip in the Bay of Bengal, after which he entered the temple, where there are 22 other wells with holy water. The Prime Minister, of course, took buckets of water from these holy wells, and he poured that water on himself, and that is part of the main ritual of the temple. It is considered to be an equivalent of penance. That is the reason why pilgrims who come here, they do this ritual, so that it is important for penance, because it's believed that Lord Ram and and Goddess Sita, when they returned from the war, when they returned from Lanka, they prayed to Lord Shiva to absolve any sin, to wash away any sins that Lord Ram may have committed during the war against Ravana. So that is the reason why this temple, the confluence point of the Vaishnavites and the Saivites group, both these groups, for them, this temple bears a lot of significance. And the 22 Teerthas, like I said, the number 22 also represents, or also is indicative of the number of arrows that Lord Ram had in his quiver. So a lot of such connections, that are there in these temples. And following his darshan and pujas at the Ramanatha Swami temple, he took part in a Ramayana Parayana, where Ramakathas were recited in multiple languages: Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, and so many such languages. And there was also a bhajan sandhya, where devotional songs were played, and the Prime Minister took part in all of these events. And he stayed over the night at the Ramakrishna Mutt, and this morning is when the Prime Minister has gone to Dhanushkodi, to the Adorned point, and then to the Kodanda Ramaswamy temple. So this has been the Prime Minister's schedule, and this has been the Prime Minister's visit to Tamil Nadu, just to sum up what he did and the significance of each of these temples and each of these events that the Prime Minister took part in. The government sources, of course, has been saying that the Prime Minister has been observing a very strict Anushthan in the last 11 days ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, and it is quite clear from the manner in which he's been devoting time, he's been taking out time to take part in these rituals, to take part, to visit such important temples which has such significance in terms of culture, history and mythology. All of it, of course, assumes a lot of significance. And now, of course, all eyes are on the big Pran Pratishtha ceremony that is expected to take place in Ayodhya tomorrow.
That's right, Shilpa. In fact, it's very interesting and significant, in fact, that the Prime Minister will be, in fact, wrapping up his Tamil Nadu visit, at least his visits before, of course, coming to Ayodhya in Dhanushkodi, which is where Lord Ram took the vow to defeat Ravana. And then, of course, the Pran Pratishtha happens here in Ayodhya tomorrow. And by the evening, the whole of Ayodhya will be lit up with 10 lakh diyas in the way that it happens here in Ayodhya on Deepavali, which is when, of course, legend has it that Ram returned victorious and he, of course, returned from his Vanvas. So it's very significant that he ends the tour of temples in Dhanushkodi, and then Ayodhya is where he reaches when Ayodhya lights up to welcome Ram Lalla tomorrow.
Well, absolutely, Paulami. In fact, it's quite fascinating how they've chosen these temples or these points because of the kind of connections it has to Lord Ram, it has to Ayodhya, and several of such. We've been told. I've not been to Ayodhya, but Paulami, you've been pointing out in several of your reports. They've made sure that all of these connections are somehow brought out to Ayodhya in the structures, in the designs at the Ayodhya temple as well. So a lot of thought being put into the construction of the temple as well, the consecration ceremony that will happen tomorrow at Ayodhya, and even we're being told that the holy water from the Ramanatha Swami temple will also be taken to Ayodhya. So that is also something that we're given to understand. Yesterday when Prime Minister Modi took that holy dip in the sea and also took bath in the holy water, the 22 Teerthas of the Ramanatha Swami temple, we're being told that holy water will also be carried to Ayodhya. So a lot of excitement around the Prime Minister's visit. Also, the interesting fact was how the Prime Minister listened to Ramayana in multiple languages, because when Prime Minister was, for example, in Kerala, he visited the Tripuraya temple where he heard the Malayalam version of the Ramayana. When he was in Tamil Nadu, when he was in Srirangam temple in Trichy, he listened to the Kamba Ramayanam, which is of course in Tamil. So, there is across the country, Lord Ram has been a very uniting factor. He's someone who's revered by everyone, and that is the reason why the Prime Minister's visit to these temples, once again it brings to light the kind of associations, the kind of connections these temples have, these places have to Lord Ram, and it's simply fascinating to know the stories behind these temples.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone, of course, in the course of the Prime Minister's visits, learned a little bit about the history and the significance of each of these temples and their association, of course, with the epic tale of Ramayana. Shilpa, thank you so much for joining us. We're staying with these pictures. Of course, the Prime Minister there wrapping up his 11-day Anushthan in Tamil Nadu's Dhanushkodi before, of course, he heads out for Ayodhya. He'll be here tomorrow for the Pran Pratishtha that we'll be bringing to you live here on India Today. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching India Today.